a special package arrive, and this is going to be a vintage tool unboxing. Now, I started to open this yesterday in my excitement because the first thing that when Mrs. W brings these things into my office and I feel that they're heavy and they come from subscribers, I know that it's going to be something really cool inside. So I tore the top or the box open and I thought, no, wait a minute, we're going to unbox this together. So this is from my good friend David. New friend David in South Carolina sent me an email a while back and said, hey, I've got some special heirloom tools. I want to send them out to you. I want you to have them. So question always comes up, what do I do with all these tools? Because I already have a pretty good collection for myself. I don't keep all of them, and that's sometimes some of the folks that send things are not super pleased with that. But I want you to know what I do oftentimes is I'll clean them up, I'll restore them or sharpen them, and then I give them I give a lot of the way to the young boys at our local church, different people that come by. So just kind of know that if you do send me things, and if I do have multiples of it, I'm not a hoarder, I'm not a collector, and I would rather get it in working order and send it out to someone. So enough of that. Let's jump into it and see what's in this box. It's big and it's heavy. All right, gracing us today is the very happy to have returned Benchmade 940. How about we slide this over to the side here? We'll slide this here and we'll just bring things out one at a time. Go get yourself a cup of coffee, push pause. We are gonna have, this is a heavy one. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this today. So what do we have here? We've got a leather case. Oh, it's just so exciting. What in the world is this? Okay, I know this is cool. I know what this is. It looks like a leather punch. This is like what in the world? This is okay, so there is some sort of a mandrel, spur. My goodness, I don't know what, but here's the interesting thing is it's got a hole. It's probably over 100 of these things in there. What are these? Oh, it's a grommet tool. It's a grommet tool. That's what, with grommets, with a whole bunch of them. Well, you can't buy that off of Amazon, I'll bet. Okay, I'm starting to put this together here, so bear with me. We're learning together. So here's what I think. So if you wanted to put a grommet, this is actually really cool. This is really cool. If you wanted to put a grommet in, let's say, canvas or in leather or something, here's what I think. You're going to take this tool here, and you're going to punch a hole in it. And if I'm willing to bet, look at that. Yep, that's the exact size hole right there. And then you're going to put this here's got some teeth on it that will mash out. One will grab the leather or the material. The other will fold underneath of those deals there and make a grommet. And then once you have that placed, then you would set this in the mandrel here like this, and you will strike that down with a hammer and make a grommet. That is neat. That's one I'm not going to be giving away. We'll have to make something really cool with that. There's a whole bunch of them, and there's hundreds of them in there. Look at that. Well, nicely done, David. I have never seen that before. That is a very welcome surprise. Boy, we're starting off on a high note here. Can it get any better? All right, we've got a plastic bag here with a pair of leather gloves inside. Oh, these are really nice. These are like Tillman. I have needed a pair of gloves like these because I have the big, and they're the perfect size. Look at that. These are really nice. They're not. The gloves I have are for welding, and they're too heavy. You don't have any dexterity. But if you're handling some hot things, these are great. And to have two pair, to have a backup pair. Man, that is just great. And they're the perfect size. Thank you, David. Isn't that nice? They smell great. Those are nice gloves. I like that they have really high cuffs on them. Oh, those will definitely be used. All right, so I know what this is. Oh, this is just too exciting. Oh, how about that there? How did that get in there? Loctite 243. Of course, you know, that's always my favorite, Loctite 243. It's something that every man should have in his toolbox. Let's put that right here. Right there, so you all can enjoy it along with me. Okay, so here we have a non-restored ratcheting brace. That's a nice one. It's got the rosewood handles. There's a little crack there, but it's seized up. That might be an opportunity for us to do a restoration on there. The chuck, how's the chuck look? The chuck looks pretty good. Chuck is functioning. The ratcheting mechanism is good. It's perfectly functional. It just needs a little bit of, this would be a good one to put in the derusting fluid. So that's pretty nice there. That's an old one too. An old brace with the rosewood handles. Are you guys having as much fun as I am here? I don't know where to start. Okay, there's a note. Well, we don't want to cheat. We'll save that for later in case we can't answer any questions. Well, we have something really big here. Oh, I think I know what this is. I think I definitely know what this is. And I actually have one of these, but I have the new version, the remanufactured one. Wouldn't it be something if this was the original one? Oh, I think it is. I think there's no question. This is really interesting. So I have been using this is a nail puller. This is a vintage slide hammer. This is an old one. A vintage slide hammer style nail puller that I still use today. You saw me use it on the siding not too long ago. This is really nice. It's interesting having used the remanufactured one by Crescent and then handling an old one. I'll bet this one is twice the weight. I wonder if the quality, how I'll have to try them together and see which one works better. But that's got a ton of weight to it. I mean, it's got some mass. You could really use that slide hammer action. The jaws are not opening, but that's just because, oh no, they are. They work fine. I was just pushing the wrong way. But it's in good shape. It doesn't have a lot of rust on it because I think it's had some sort of a coating on it, like an enamel of some sort. Yeah, that's really nice. I have never seen one. I've never seen an old one in person like this before, only in my tool book that Lou got me. That's really nice there. Boy, this is exciting. All right, so next looks like we have a vintage pair of scissors. You know, it is hard to find quality scissors. These old ones are, look at that. So these are a nice general purpose Nashville made by the Arrow Company. I've not heard of these. Their quality, you can feel them. They're just like butter. And they're in their unrestored condition. That's really nice. This is one of, wow, that's a nice set. This is one of the, I can't explain the feel of these. It feels like quality, you know, when you can just feel it. This is a great general purpose pair. I've got over there well, you saw me trying to use some scissors. I don't remember what we were doing. That they weren't working very well. They were just those cheap Fisker scissors that once were good scissors and not so much anymore. But this is a pair that we can, this would be a good opportunity for us to, I know that the Russian knife sharpener has a jig for sharpening scissors and I haven't used it, but we'll try it out on there. But these are nice. These would be my new shop scissors. I'll get rid of those crummy Fiskers and keep these in here. But this is handy to have you can cut leather, you can cut canvas, just I'm always grabbing them all the time and I'm always lamenting the fact that how terrible they were. So that's a nice set of scissors right there. What in the world is this? We might be stymied here. Okay, so this says on it, made in USA, BMC Manufacturing, Panther, Birmingham, number 9. I'm gonna have to get my, I think all it is, I think it's like the grandfather of the Robo Grip. It's an adjustable plier with a plastic in there. Maybe a Bakelite or something. That's pretty old. That's pretty clever. You know, look at the way the steel is laminated there. You can see right there. It's just like a Robo Grip. A Robo Grip is a pair of pliers, kind of channel locks with springs on them that you automatically adjust to the fastener that you want to tighten. And that's what these kind of do. So they open up. It's like a pair of vice grips that doesn't lock. That's interesting. I've never seen anything like that before. Good condition too. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, we've got a folding ruler. These are nice. I have one of these. Unfortunately, in a file. Well, so this is I've never seen a file like this before. Look how tiny it is. It's a very fine file. This is a handy file for doing, for sharpening. It's very fine. It's got the concave on one side, the rounded on one side for doing grooves and everything. This would be a good file for filing small rasps, or not rasps, but gouges. Fits in the hand nice. That's really interesting. Quality too. It looks like it's I can't read. I should have brought my reading glasses. Here we have, now before tape measures, before we had tape, a regular Stanley tape measures, we had the carpenters would pack these folding rules. They'd wear the apron here, and you always have that in your pocket when you need to measure. You would fold this. This one's beautiful. It looks like how many inches do we have there? It's 24 inches, so it'd be 2 feet. I'm gonna keep this here because I have one of these that my father-in-law gave me, but the numbers on them are so dark that I haven't been able to use them. I can't read it very well. And look at the brass, the craftsmanship, and all of the segmented lines in there. That is nice. What a beautiful thing. No metric, as will please you, I know, as it pleases me, but maybe my master will. I'm going to keep that right here. I'll use that on my workbench. What do we have here? It looks like we have maybe a sheath knife. Is there something in there? What was that? No. We have a sheath knife here. Oh yeah, that's an old Western knife. This is very similar to the first my first hunting knife that my granddad gave me. Look at that. Boy, is that not classic Americana hunting skinning knife right there. Leather wrapped handle. All original. That's really beautiful, isn't it? The Western knife. Yeah, I remember that. I bought one, my granddad and I, I don't remember how that was. I think he bought me one and then I bought him one. There was one that they made that had a hatchet combination with a knife sheath on the outside and it was really nice because we used to carry a heavy hatchet when we would go elk hunting, and we'd use a hatchet for splitting the pelvis when you're butchering, cutting through the girdle bone or whatever you call it when you're quartering meat. We would use that, and we got those Western ones because they were really thin and they were a lot easier to pack around hunting with all the gear. But that's really nice. That reminds me of the one Granddad gave me. That's pretty cool. Oh, this looks like a vintage plumb bob. That looks like an old one. I've always been fascinated with plumb bobs. I've got a brass one that was given to me years ago that I might keep in my. Oh, yep, that's exactly what it is, and it's got the tip on it still. That's rare. Usually you find these and there's pieces missing on the tip, and then I'm not sure. Oh yes. So you see the reason why it's got an opening in there is you can't tie a string around a plumb bob or it'll hang crooked. So it has to feed down through the center. So you take a piece of mason string and you thread it down there and then tie a knot in the bottom and then pull it up, and then when it hangs true. And this has got a hardened, it looks like cast steel with a hardened, threaded, replaceable tip on there. That's a neat one, isn't it? That's really cool. That might be kind of 8 ounces, it says. That might have to go into Mrs. W's knick-knack cabinet. I gotta keep a toe hold in there or she'll take over. We have here. Oh, look at that! What a that's a cutie. That's a Johnson. These are iconic here. These are carpenter's clamps. Johnson's. I believe they're made in, they originally started in Sweden or Scandinavia. I want to show you something here. I have the big one. And I've never had a little one. Look at that. These are old school. These are really nice clamps. Yep, or Jorgensen, not Johnson, excuse me. Jorgensen, made in USA, and there's its little brother, the little tiny one. And they're fun because you know they have different threads on them, so you spin them this way here to open and close them. That's a handy little clamp there just to have around. Okay, good condition too. Who knows what we're gonna find in here next? Now, I have actually really been wanting one of these. I know what, do you know what this is? Can you see that? If I'm right, I think this is what it is. So when you're stitching leather, you run a line where you want your stitch to be, right? With your finger there, and you run this along the line, and it makes little indentations, little holes, or reference marks, so you know where to put your needle. So you have a nice consistent thread and you're not some wider and some narrower. That's nice. And you can get these in different sizes. If you want to have stitching that's further apart, they're bigger or smaller. This is a good general purpose for small work. But there's some leather work that I need to do. I'll be doing some videos on that. And I don't have one of these. I've been meaning to get one. So that's cool. That's an old one. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So we've got, whoops, oh, careful. So we've got, I've got one of these before, and I've actually been using it. They're little tiny drill bits with just manual drill bits with these little wooden handles on them. Isn't that cool? I'll keep these in here. They're handy for having in the shop because you can, if you just need to just get a little hole started, or if you're working on some delicate thing, rather than get the drill out and all that stuff, you can just grab one of these. They're handy to have on the workbench. And this, I'm assuming, is just a corkscrew, just an old-fashioned corkscrew for corks and bottles. These are nice. What a eclectic group of collection of things here. Let's see what else we got here. We're coming to the end, I promise you. Okay, so here's a small, very traditional carpenter's square, a bench square, one that you would use on the bench, right there. We can test it. We could test to see if it still is square here's how you test a square. You see right there? You put it up against, not something like a workbench. My workbench is not perfectly square, but up against a sheet of plywood or melamine, something that has a factory edge on it, and then you can you draw a line, and then you reverse it, and you line it up there, and you draw another line, and you compare the lines. If the lines are square, if the lines are parallel together, then that means it's square, and this is absolutely square. I'll exaggerate this. What you'll find if they're not square, when you do this and you flip them and you put them together, is you'll find something that looks like this. See how they deviate there, they depart. But that just is a test to the quality of these old tools. They were really built well. Brass, solid brass, 3 brass inserts there. Quality steel, great. Nice to have. I don't have one of these that is in good condition, and I'll just leave that right there. That'll be part of the carpenter's bench, no doubt. All right, what we got here? Oh, this is really nice. How about that? Very rare. These are the original Stanley 750 You see these here? The original Stanley 750 chisel handles, factory ones. They have, they should be, look how good a condition they're in too. And they're just twins. It's a brace of them. How about that? I have got chisels that I don't have handles for. I'll be curious to see if these fit. They're gonna be for some of the larger chisels, probably a 1 inch or 3/4, but they've got you can see, I believe it's a stacked leather. I think they put a stacked leather on there to soften the blow and the impact to the hand. Very rare. I probably am not going to use these. I'll probably use these as patterns on my lathe to recreate handles, because I haven't, the original ones are becoming so rare. That is neat. I wonder, that's really nice. Boy, some real treasure. So I have to, so people are going to ask, so of all of the stuff, what is your favorite of the lot? And I'd have to say the grommet tool. The grommet tool is the coolest thing. To have the whole kit with a punch. Look at that. I mean, that is it. Oh, there we go. I must have had that wrong. So the grommet would go on the top, not the bottom. Look, see how it fits in there? See that? I had it upside down there. My apologies there. So you would put your material on there. Let's say we're going to pretend that this is canvas, right? So you would take and you'd what am I doing here, dummy? You would punch a hole, sharp, look at that, clean hole in that plastic. You'd punch a hole in there, then you would put you would probably, I'm not sure which way they would go, which way you would do it. Yeah, you'd have to be this way. Then you'd put this on here, right? Then you'd put this here. Then you'd use your mandrel like that. Is that right? And bend that over. Yeah. Yep. Something like that. No? Huh. Yeah. I'll bet it's like that. Spur. It says spur. That's nice. Well, that is really cool. Well, thank you, David. That is a really interesting. This is neat. That's a really interesting set of things. This will have a prominent place over here on with the collection. Thank you for these nice gifts. This was really fun. I hope you enjoyed the video, and it's I'll read this letter here off air. But that's it. That's all I have, and we'll see you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.